Something was wrong, we felt it inside. Something told us do not comply. Turn off the news, turn off the TV. It's time to think, get off your knees. We tried to warn loved ones, oh did we try? We tried to save lives, but we were denied. Sadly we failed and many of them died. We were kicked to the side, we did not hide. We took to the streets, we would not comply. Our conscience told us this was the world's largest lie. At first we were few, but we shortly grew. Melbourne streets saw sights that had never been seen. We fought for our rights, for all to be free. People thrown to the ground, pepper spray to the face. No matter what age, we were locked up and caged. Then the guns came out, they had no care. They shot their own people, running in fear, unarmed and peaceful. We stood for our rights, they would not stop us. We would not give up the fight. We were locked out of cafes, our families withdrew. No Christmas, no birthdays, no celebrations we knew. We were germs, enemies, a danger to you. You watched the counts on mainstream news. No further would you look, we were all cooked. Deluded, brainwashed, segregation we lived through. Whilst you lived your life without any clue. People thrown to the ground, pepper spray to the face. No matter what age, we were locked up and caged. Then the guns came out, they had no care. They shot their own people, running in fear, unarmed and peaceful. We stood for our rights, they would not stop us. We would not give up the fight. Something was wrong, we felt it inside. Something told us do not comply.
Good evening and welcome to Match Moments. Tonight's guest is the lovely Gail Maree. She first woke up in 2019. She went to hospital. She had nothing to do, so she started researching, and off she went. She hasn't stopped since. So let's bring on Gail. Hi, Miss Gail. How are you?
I'm very, very, very well, Miss Mantra, and thank you so much for having me on tonight. It really is an honour. I watch all your podcasts, and when you asked me to join you tonight, I thought, what can I talk about? I can't give information. I'm just going to give you experiences and how I dealt with them. So I hope that's everyone can understand that I'm not an activist, but I'm very aware of what's going on.
You're not an activist. You don't think you're an activist. Okay.
Well, I'm not famous as an activist, but in saying that, the March for Australia Day, when we were all waiting at Flinders Street Station, this gentleman standing next to me said, "You're Gail Maree, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "I watch you on My Place Frankston. I love your posts." Right. So one person noticed. So that was interesting. So perhaps I am an activist.
You're an activist, Gail, definitely. So tell us about, you went to hospital in 2019. I think yes. I don't know what for, but it was a blessing because it woke you up before everything hit.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about that?
Well, sure. I'll just give you a brief intro on myself. I was born in 1952, so I'm a boomer, and I will be 54 in July next
54.
year. 64 next year. I'm trying to lose 10 years each year. And I'm a widow, and I'm a grandma of 8 kids who I'm terribly concerned for the future for them. And in 2019, I was taking my little poodle for a walk in the park, and two shepherds came and attacked him. So I pulled one of the shepherds off, and he bit me on the ankle. Very small bite, nothing to have to go to hospital or anything like that. And I was going to Vietnam a week later with a girlfriend, our first trip away since COVID, because we couldn't travel. And she'd lost her husband and I'd lost mine. And we'd booked to go to Vietnam. Well, 3 days after the dog bite, I couldn't walk.
Right.
So I had to go to the doctor, and she gave me some antibiotics, some anti-inflammatories, and tetanus was up to date. But then 3 days after that, we were on our way to the airport, and I said to my girlfriend, I can't go. And she said, what's wrong? I said, I can't go. And she said, oh, I'll look after you. I said, no, it's really, when you know your body, you know that it's really not right. Mm-hmm. So we arrived at the Park Royal Hotel at the Tullamarine and rang an ambulance, and they raced me to the Alfred. They said I had sciatica, but they said I could go home, and I said I am not going home. So they admitted me for the night, and then they sent me to Sandringham, and I heard a nurse say at the nurses' station, that lady is septic.
Really?
So they sent me back to Sandringham, to the Alfred, and it took until December. This was October. Took till December to find what was wrong. They just kept feeding me antibiotics and giving me injections and massages and that sort of thing, and it came up with a rare parasite that got into my skin at the ankle where the dog bit me. The parasite travelled right up my leg, nestled itself in my hip, and ate my hip.
Oh.
So consequently, I couldn't walk, and then it took lots and lots of therapy and the correct antibiotic. It was the first case at the Alfred Hospital, and it wasn't until the following March that I was able to have a custom-made hip, because the little bugger actually ate a quarter of my hip as well. So I had to have a bit of a pelvis into my hip as well. So it's crazy. So
just before you go on, Gail, we have to clear up your age.
I am 73.
There we go, Nettie. Yes, because we went from 54 to 64.
I'm sorry.
And then someone said, hang on a minute.
I haven't even had a wine. I think it was because I said I was born in 52, and I'll be 74 next July.
Right.
So
oh, good.
in the hospital, it was all during the Trump elections, and I'm not a television lover, so I was using my phone a lot, and I got onto a lot of podcasts. And the first podcast I listened to was about child trafficking, which I had no idea about. And it actually had visual photos of kids being put into vans and being trafficked. The next one was the removing of organs in China while people were still alive, replacing for selling to other countries for heart transplants or liver transplants, and using alive people to take their organs. So it was all about organ harvesting, which I had no idea about. This was 2019.
Yes.
Did you know, Donna? Did you know any of that?
No, if I did, I wasn't really aware of it. No, not much.
No. So I also learned about the Rothschild family and the Rockefellers. So when visitors were coming in to see me, I was saying, have you heard of organ harvesting? Have you heard of trafficking of children? Have you heard of the cabal? And my friends are saying, Gail, you've had too much endone and too much Valium, which I was dosing very high.
Yes.
So I started to disbelieve myself that I perhaps was hearing things or making them up in my mind. So, no, I got over that. I realised I was right. So
Yeah.
I did more investigation into that whilst I was in hospital. And it wasn't until the March the following year that I was actually released to go home. And again, I started talking to people. But what had happened in the meantime, COVID hit. And I was about to be dismissed from hospital. And the nurses came in just to clean everything up and make sure I was all right and had masks on. And I said, why are you girls all wearing masks? And they said, oh, Gail, there's a virus that's hit the Australian land. I said, what sort of virus? And they said, it's COVID-19. Oh, what's that? How did it happen? It came from bats, with people travelling from China where the bats were living and encaged, and brought the virus back on the aeroplanes. Well, I had to laugh, but I had to bite my tongue. It just sounded so surreal. So when I get to rehab, my daughter picked me up from rehab a couple of days later, and she said, Mum, I've got to go and buy toilet paper. And because I was going to stay with her because I couldn't go home. And she said, yeah, there's a shortage of toilet paper. So then it just got worse and worse and worse. And friends were saying, Gail, you've got to be so careful. You've been so sick. You've got to wear a mask, and you've got to make sure that you don't be anywhere near anyone who has COVID, because you've just come out of hospital and you'll be susceptible. And I thought, oh, really? So I wasn't going anywhere anyway. But when I was able to actually walk and just go for a little walk up the street with my crutches, I posted it on a thread with girlfriends, and I said, look, I'm walking. And they said, you haven't got a mask on.
Oh. And
I said, no, I'm in the fresh air. They said, no. You could catch COVID from the trees. So I thought, these people are all brainwashed.
Oh, that's the first one I've heard on trees.
Oh, yes, yeah. So I lost that group of friends because I was in denial. And then I think the next thing that was I lost a lot of friends for too was when Koshi brought up on the news, what people are you going to invite for your house for Christmas Day? So it went from COVID to vaccinations. So I was questioning COVID, and then I questioned vaccinations. So I had every vaccination you could ever want while I was so sick. Preventatives, blood thinners, you name it. I had iron infusions. I had things jabbed into me like you wouldn't believe. But when Greg Hunt said, we are going to experience the most incredible experiment ever, I said, experiment? I twitched. I don't want to be involved in an experiment. So then I got the anti-vaxxer thing. So I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I just didn't want to be involved in an experiment.
A worldwide one at that.
Pardon? Sorry?
A worldwide one at that.
I know. And that rang bells to me, and I thought, no, I'm not going to do it. So because I had been denying COVID, I was called a super spreader. I was called get a job, don't walk the streets, don't be so silly, it's a killer, look at all the people dying in the streets. And it was like, why am I questioning all this? Why aren't I like my friends who are abiding by everything? Yes. And I would say 90% of my friends went and had the first vaccination, and they're saying, when are you going to, Gail? I said, not yet. So I did a lot of research on YouTube, and then I was called I was an idiot because I got onto YouTube, and I was listening to Dr. Ryan, the pathologist from the USA. I was listening to Dr. Malone. And then people say, oh, they're hopeless people. They've all been on Wikipedia. It says they're conspiracy theorists. So you've got to follow the true science.
Yes.
But they still didn't beat me. They didn't win me over. I still had that inkling that something just wasn't right.
Yes.
So I still question everything up until today. But I lost all my friends during COVID. And I really felt alone. I'm sure there's people on watching now. I can't see who's watching or how many people are on the live. But us who didn't get it felt very alone. And it wasn't until I saw on Facebook a place called My Place. And there were about 300 people that had gone onto the website. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, I haven't been putting the comments up. Sorry.
Okay. It's all right. I can't see them anyway. I haven't got my glasses on. But I thought, maybe this is something I could go to. So, look, I'm forever grateful for Darren for starting up My Place. And that's how I met you, Donna.
Yes.
That we were invited to go without any vaccination certificate, any QR code, and we could just be ourselves again. So that was absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
And it grew, of course, and then I became admin with My Place, and we grew that up to over 6,000 members, which I'm very proud of. We had amazing events, but also we were exposed to lots of different speakers. And from me meeting speakers, I love it because I love to eyeball people. I love to watch their body language. And I must admit, I didn't know what was really going on. So I went to libertarian meetings and I watched the politicians talk about their policies. I went to Labor meetings and watched them. I went to Liberal meetings, and I went to Australia One meetings, and that was the one that appealed to me at the time. And I actually joined A1 with Ricardo Bossi, which I think a lot of people did. And I lasted there about 6 months because I realised that wasn't going anywhere either. So I totally lost faith in politicians. So I questioned everything they said. And going by today, it's actually got worse. It's worse and worse and worse. And at this stage, in the last 12 months, I've gone in another direction, perhaps going a little bit more on the far right side, because I felt the middle wasn't going anywhere. The left was going further left, and the Liberals were starting to go a little bit left as well. That's my opinion. So I started following the Workers' Alliance with Matt, and went to a few of his talks, and I loved his philosophy, his truth, his incredible knowledge. And I had faith in him, which also led me to actually go to an NSN meeting to listen to these boys who have been just dumbed down and really copped a lot of slack, and I listened to them too. So at this stage, I'm not in any political party, but I do like to follow and listen, and then we'll make up my own decision. But I can't see us going anywhere at the moment. I know everyone's praying for One Nation. I haven't seen Pauline live because she's not in Melbourne, and I didn't go to the protest where she flew down to look in the face as well. So I'm still questioning, Donna.
No, and I think that's great. And I think one of our problems I find in the actual movement is that we cut certain things off. If we've got a certain belief, like it happens outside the movement and in the movement, if we've got a certain belief, we won't look. We just go, no.
Yes, I know.
I think we need to do what you have been doing. I want to know all of it. I want to hear everybody's opinion so I can make a choice and see where I think we should be going.
And actually go and meet them if you can and talk to them, shake their hand, talk to them.
Are you talking about the NSN guys?
Everyone.
Yes, yes.
You know, and I went to Victoria, Voice for Victoria were holding pub spots, and they had one at the Bridge Hotel in Mordialloc, so that's close to home. So I went to that, and David Limbrick was there, so I sat with him, shook his hand, and a lot of councillor elects were there, girls who, predominantly women, who were going to be standing for the Isaacs and Kingston Council. So I sat and talked to them too, and what their policies were. Not just listen to them on TikTok or Facebook or what the news says, but sit and talk to them. So that's been a real focus over the last 12 months, is working with local council, because our council was extremely Labor, and we're not working for the people, and we're not concentrating on roads, rubbish and gardens and parks. They were getting involved in political views, and I didn't like that. So I started going to the meetings.
Yes.
So you can't speak at the meetings, but you can send an email the day before with a question, and so they can study it and give you the right answer. You can't give them an off-the-cuff question. So a couple of the girls that I'd met at the Voice for Victoria events, they wanted to stand, and they're totally independents, totally. So I said, how can I help? So I started doing letter drops for the girls in our area, and a lot of promotion. I knocked on doors, and then this time last year, the independents got in. So you cannot believe the change of our Kingston Council now, that the girls, unbelievable. The girls are exposing so much in a nice way, to the point that Labor have paid for monitors to come and sit in our council meetings to make sure the girls aren't going too far. Yeah, but they're doing an awesome job. So, you know, from the political side of things that I was questioning and looking at, I've become very involved in local council, which I'm actually loving, because they're authentic, common sense, independent women. So they're winning a lot of the arguments at council that we want them to win. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah. So I've got nothing really much on now with Christmas coming along, but I'll definitely be going to the Australia Day March.
Yes.
Actually, no, I'm going to a picnic on the weekend with a group of women who are very Australian-minded and bringing back femininity. And I think femininity is something that is disappearing with our young kids today. And the reason I say that is that my career was always with women. And is that sun in the way?
No, you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I was a self-improvement modelling teacher, and it was all about femininity back in the 60s and 70s. And I know you and I spoke about this recently, the way that some of the girls dress and the way they sit and talk and eat, and a lot of the femininity is going. So I'm going to a picnic on Saturday with a group of women who are wanting to bring back femininity. We have to wear a dress. No pants.
That's beautiful. That's
no
funny.
jeans.
That's where I've been going just recently, down that track as well. And then when I spoke to you and you said about that, I'm like, oh, that's good. Because I feel like we've had so much, and women do take a lot on, and we've suddenly became these warriors, and which is fine. But we've lost our softness. We've lost the softness, a lot of us, because we're so busy just trying to make sure everyone's okay.
Well,
go on.
I was going to say the softness also comes into your personality, because any comment that you might put on Facebook that someone doesn't agree with, they really tarnish you and it pulls you down. And so you lose that femininity, because you start to bite back and become aggressive yourself and it's so sad.
Yes.
But I was talking to a girl who's doing her DEB next July, and they're starting practices in the new year, and they're allowed to wear runners with their beautiful long gowns. I said,
Why?
because they're more comfortable.
But if you wear the wrong socks at school, you get detention.
But they want to wear runners with their dresses, their ball gowns. And that's the femininity that's going. And that I just said, you can't. Yes, you can. That's what everyone's doing. Well, so don't follow everybody. Start to bring back a nice pair of court shoes with a little heel,
Yes.
or even a flat shoe that's got a sling back and a bow on it or something, but not runners, please. So I'm going to have to dig out a dress to wear on the weekend. And apparently we're going to make flower garlands for our hair as well. So make it really, really feminine. So that'll be nice. But then I'll be going to the March for Australia in January the 26th in Melbourne. I like to fly my flag, and I've got the red flag, so I feel I'm carrying the right one.
Yes.
That one of the other things is waking people up. That is so hard. I bought a little miniature cappuccino machine just recently, and I was at the Good Guys, and the store I went to didn't have cameras, and the lady had a mask on when she was filling out my invoice, and I said, "Are you sick? Are you not well?" She said, "I've just got this terrible throat and blocked nose and coughing." And I said, "Oh, that's no good." I said, "Hay fever?" She said, "No, I've never had hay fever, never in my life." And she said, "The whole family has." And I said, "Oh, have you ever looked up in the skies and see what they spray?" She said, "No." I said, yeah. I said, it's affecting a lot of plants too. She said, "I'll have to look into that." I said, "Good on you." And then just recently at a grand final function, we're all sitting around chatting away, and one guy was there, and I was talking to him. I said, "How's business?" He said, "It's great. But I'm a little bit concerned about it. He's in recycling rubbish." And he told me that all our rubbish goes into the same spot. I said, "You're kidding me." And I had heard that.
Yes.
But anyway, I said, "Have you got any regrets in life at the moment?" And he said, "The only regret I have, I took one vaccination." I said, "Oh, why do you regret that?" He said, "Because I didn't want to, and I was forced into it." I said, "Yeah, I think a lot of people felt that way, that they were forced in it." I said, "Do you feel that's a little bit of a dictatorship or communism?" He said, "Yeah, I'm starting to see things now. I'll never be having another one." It's amazing how you can just bring it up in a conversation. And I know Matt Lawson preached that a lot on his lives when he was very much into personal contact on how to speak.
That was Matt Lawson you were saying, weren't you? Just cut out a little bit. So
go
Matt Lawson.
Yes, yeah. So it's all about your conversation. And I think also the people you're with, like if I was talking to a group of ladies in Brighton, I'd speak differently to a group of girls in Dandenong. So, it depends. You've got to come to their level, but never go down to anyone's down below your level, but speak at their level with your personality.
Yes.
So, look, I know there's a lot more people waking up and questioning. And, the horrific weekend in Sydney, I've got a lot of Jewish friends who are terrified. And I just know that they are on our side. They're aware of a lot of the Zionists, and one in particular who does a lot of television broadcasts. And she said to me, "Don't trust him." And they're aware.
Don't trust who? Sorry.
Avi Yemeni.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So he's now promoting Pauline Hanson in a big way, and we know why too, with her wearing her Israeli scarf in Parliament. So she's supporting Israel as well. I love my Jewish friends. I've got nothing against Jews. It's just this hierarchy that seems to be ruling us at the moment.
Yes.
People may disagree, but I'm hearing it from my Jewish friends as well.
Yes. Yeah. I think there's good and bad in everybody, isn't there? There's
absolutely, and there's radical in everyone too. And
yes.
yeah. But, probably the best thing I've done to ease my mind of all this is I became a guide dog carer 3 years ago.
Yes.
When I lost my husband a year later, I lost my dog. And taking the dog to the vet to have him put down at 16 years of age was horrific, and everybody can relate to that. And I didn't want to do that again. But then I got lonely. And I realised I was missing a dog. So I applied to be a carer for 12 months to raise a puppy until they're just over 12 months. So at the moment, I've got the best little girl. Her name's Irene. She's 5 months old, and I will have her until August next year. And people say, oh, Gail, sorry?
Is she your third now?
She's my third, yeah, and she's my best. Yes.
Yeah.
And people say, how do you do it, Gail? And I say, well, when I say goodbye to her, she's off with her brothers and sisters. They jump for joy. They play. They're there for a few months to be assessed with their health and their demeanour and their manners and what I've done as a trainer. And then they can go on to bigger and better things. So they're going into a happy environment. I'm happy for them. I have a break, and then I ring Australia Vision again and say, have you got another pup for me? So I'll have a month or so off, and then I'll get a gorgeous new little puppy again. So...
And you take her, they go everywhere with you, don't they?
Exactly.
Like to yoga classes, everything.
She gets welcomed by the mayor at our council meetings now.
Yes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and hello, Irene. So she's getting well known. She came to the manicurist with me this morning to have my nails done. She went to the osteopath with me the other day to have some massaging done.
Have a look at you and your life. Goodness. Very feminine.
Yeah. So, and the other good thing too is I've joined a group called the View Club, and we raise money for the Smith Foundation. And Irene comes to all those as well. And I was a guest speaker one night to talk about guide dogs. So beautiful group of women. So I've moved myself away from the political side of things, testing the waters with all of them, questioning them, but having much more light in my life now with the ladies and the dog groups, because we have group trainings and everyone's very positive, and dogs bring you so much joy.
Yeah. It's
beautiful. So I'd like to end on a happy note, and I'm happier, but I am terribly concerned for the future of my 8 grandchildren.
Yes. Well, you're not ending yet, Gail. You've only been going for half an hour, darling.
Oh, is it? I'm looking at the time and it says 34 minutes.
Yes.
So I'll keep going then.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, actually. Okay, so what would you like me to talk about now?
Has anyone got any questions for Gail? I think it's amazing, really, because at your age to lose all your friends.
Yes.
And because you've lost your husband, you've lost your best friend, your dog.
Yes,
Clive, Margaret. It's incredible that you're stuck with it, that you're actually strong enough to stick with it and stand your ground, really.
Yeah, I had to. There was no way known I was going to get into anxiety or depression. I get concerned. I worry. I saw my doctor recently about a little spot on my leg, and she said, how are you? And I said, well, I'm a little bit anxious about the future for my grandchildren. And she said, don't worry, they won't know anything different. And she said, would you like some medication? And I said, no, thank you. But I couldn't believe what she said. The children won't know any different, because we can see that they're trying to erase history.
Yes.
So there'll be no proper history, and they're bringing in the Holocaust as a subject in schools now, with the transgender stuff, the kids being allowed to be girls or boys if they want to change, but they've taken them off social media. And social media is where you pick up a lot of good stuff. You pick up a lot of silly, stupid stuff too.
Yes.
But my grandson, who's nearly 17, he's on Instagram and he's picked up a lot of stuff that he questions me about, which is really good. Not that I'm a know-all, but he knows I question things, so he questions me. And one of the best things we did was we bought some silver between us. And I said, you watch it grow, darling. And I keep sending him the upgrades, and it's just doubled since we bought it 2 years ago. So he's pretty excited about that, because, he like most people are trained, keep it in the bank, keep your money in the bank. And the silver's just escalated. So that was something I'd learnt through my place. Had I not been at the event with Ainsley, know about precious metals, and not I haven't gone into crypto. I believe you have, Donna. Is that right?
Oh, I've just touched on it. I'm not
on
really.
It. Yeah. So anyway, look, I was rapt that at 17, nearly 17, he took advice, and we put some money in together and did the big trip into the city and bought lots of silver. So that's exciting.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is exciting. I actually took one of my girls in, and we just bought a small little bit of silver, but I only did it because I want to show them and encourage them to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
Ways. And like, she was I've taken both of them in different times at different places.
Yes.
It's quite amazing how different they are. But it's exciting. It's exciting for them to see it, and everyone's getting locked up and this and that, and
Well, we bought a kilo for about $1,600, and now it's worth $3,500.
A kilo. So I'm shocking. I don't know.
Kilo.
Yeah.
Just think of a kilo of butter. Very heavy. So that's we got some other smaller ones as well, but that was the big outlay. It's very rewarding. So rather than just
I have to be honest, I'm out of work, and I bought some 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And if I hadn't have bought that, I would be in so much trouble, because I've had to sell to live. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's doubled. It doubled.
Yes.
So I was just so lucky I did it.
Yep.
Or else I'd be on the streets, basically.
But there are people on the streets, Donna.
I know.
There's another little group that I support called Two Hearts, and they're in Dandenong, and they're a group of Catholic nuns hiding under the radar a little bit. They feed 2,000 homeless people a week in the Dandenong, Keysborough area.
Yeah, it's shocking.
2,000. They're living in their cars, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Or a lot of them are still at home but can't afford food. So I take up little gift packs. I might do a dozen packets of 2-minute noodles, and it's all got to be non-perishable stuff. Tins of baked beans, tins of tuna, and then they distribute them to ladies. And a lot of people don't know. A girlfriend also, she's put me onto a group of people who dress the homeless. So I've just put a couple of boxes together, decent things that have got holes in them, they go in the bins. I don't take them to Salvos now because they're overpricing all their stuff.
Yes.
So this is a place, Dan Madeliza Way, and they dress the homeless, provide new jeans, tops, new underwear, new socks, sleeping bags, that sort of thing. So
Yeah,
there's a
wonderful.
lot of people in need at the moment. So I like to help that too, but that's from my soul, and so is the View Club, and so is the Doggy Club. It's not the political that upsets your soul, and you have to rise out. There's so much more joy now in what I do.
Yeah, that's good. I think a lot of us, I don't know what's happened, but we've fought for so long, constantly. It's not been a part-time thing or a casual thing. It's been full-time for you and I know that, and lots of people, and got to a stage there where it was really, I was, and we had a conversation, and it was the same timing, and we didn't know.
Yeah,
We were both really struggling, and then I noticed lots of other people were really struggling,
yeah.
and that's just recent.
The build-up, isn't it, Donna? It's nearly 6 years.
Yeah, well, there you go. No wonder.
That's why the years are flying by, and thank God my Christmases are happy and back to normal. Not with the ones who didn't let me. I don't talk to them anymore. That family. They've never apologised. It would be so easy to say, "Sorry, Gail, we upset the most important day of your life because hang on, the dog's going to go through the window. Hey, she's trying to get a fly from the curtains. Hang on, Irene, come here." Oh my God, she would have ripped down the curtains or gone through the window. Yes, it's been an awfully long time, and who knows what's in store for us. I don't see a really good future at the moment.
No.
But we've just got to keep doing what we love.
Yes.
And be with the people now who we love and who are on our wavelength and who are like-minded. And you can have a decent conversation with them. I find if talking to some people, conversations are really shallow. I like to get into a little bit of nitty-gritty, like saying, how do you feel about the government at the moment? Who's your favourite politician? What do you think about digital ID? Oh, no, they just want to talk about holidays and shoes and kids and don't want to know.
It's right to talk about kids. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know.
I just find it a little bit shallow, so I like to get into nitty-gritty. We had all the ex-Frankston girls had a dinner the other night, and we just had all the social club, the group of us that used to organise the Mother's Day function, the dinners, the car rallies. We've all gone in our different paths, but we just catch up and talk about where we left off, which is really nice. Yeah. So we used to say the world's your oyster. Let's hope it still is.
I think we've got a lot coming down the track, but I think that's good. It's good that we've both done this. We're still in the fight, but we've both gone to another space. Like you're doing all what you're doing. I'm trying to bring some light and love to people, and
you are.
And the femininity, I'd love for us to be able to do something about that. I mean, when you think about it, it's like someone said they were too something to be feminine, but I don't think you have to be like
butchy. But you can be too butchy and you can be soft feminine. You don't have to be over the top feminine.
Yes, it's from in here.
And it's grace.
Yes, grace. That's the beautiful word.
Yeah.
And it's a relief. It's actually, when I thought about it the other day, I thought, you know what, Donna? Step back. Let the men do it now, because more men are starting to stand up. And that, I felt such relief, because it was like, oh, I don't have to be out in the streets every week. I don't have to be, this. I can just breathe for 5 seconds. How beautiful to be able to breathe.
And that's what I love about Matt from the Workers Alliance. He's a strong man, and the guys who follow him are strong men. And we were so strong for so long in those early
Mm.
years. Did you ever get arrested, Donna?
No, I had police at my house
Oh,
and at
okay.
my mum's house looking for me, but no,
Oh,
I don't know how I didn't get arrested because I was in
yeah,
their
I
faces.
know. Well, I got arrested first time ever protest. It was the first one in 2020. I went out for lunch with a friend and we could hear the protest. I said, oh, let's walk up and have a sticky beak. So we walked up to the Windsor Hotel, and within 10 minutes we were corralled by these police moving us in to Collins Street, and couldn't move. We were corralled, and then we're all arrested. I got out of it.
Yes.
It was a $1,500 fine, but I appealed it and got out of it. But we fought for so long, and I think the tradies were our hope, and then Setka got them back
Yes.
in union somehow. So we did lose a lot of those men, but they're coming back. They are coming back.
I think the men are starting to come back. Well,
Yep.
I can't say come back because they weren't there in the first place, really. But there's they weren't. It was more women than men
Yeah.
out in the street doing our thing. But I think you're right. I think men are starting to hear what's going on. They're seeing it. They're listening instead of just going piss off sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they're starting to do things, I think.
Yeah.
Even the young people. I had some young lad talk to me the other day, and he was like, he actually knew all about the NSN. And I was like, really?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Absolutely knew all about them. He'd researched them. And this is what I try to say to people. These young kids, they're saying, we have no hope anymore. We've got no hope. No one's helping us except for them.
Yeah. And they just get beaten down every time.
And this is the thing. People need to realize we don't open our minds to listening to everybody's point of view, we're going to lose a lot of people to things we don't want to lose people to, regardless if you do or you don't.
Exactly. So, hence I think I've been to every possible meeting I could go to. And I have to sum it up yourself. You have to look the people in the eye. Just don't look at TikTok and Instagram. Get off your bum and go and meet some people and talk to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because everything you see, we all know mainstream media, they cut everything. So you cannot see what has really happened. You really need to investigate. You really need to do what you do and go and meet these people, because when you're with somebody, standing with someone, you get a totally different impression. You feel where they're coming from.
Yes.
Just these bits and pieces that are shoved on.
Sure. Yeah, no, exactly. I've gone and spoken to Dreyfus, the ex-Attorney General of Australia, who Albanese sacked last year.
Okay.
And now he's back in another role. But I actually spoke to him, looked him in the eye, and I said, I don't like communism. And he laughed at me. So he didn't answer me, did he?
No.
So what did that tell you?
They don't.
Couldn't answer me or give me a reason why. It didn't ask me why I said that.
And didn't want to have a conversation about it, I'm presuming.
No.
Because that's where we're at.
Yeah.
And if you speak to people that have come from communist countries, I remember way, way back at the beginning, there was an older couple sitting there. It was a lockdown protest, I think.
Yeah.
And they were saying it's worse here because people have no idea that we're actually already in one. We came from one, but we knew.
Yep,
so we knew what we could do. We knew how far you could go, whatever. Here.
Are we on for another couple of minutes? Because I'm about to lose power. I can plug in my phone.
Yeah, you've got about 6-7 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, let me get my charger. I have to go into the kitchen.
All right.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Communism is evil.
Yes.
I think we should.
That's better light.
Yeah, it's lovely. Okay. Graham Hood wrote Communist Australia in a post. Did he?
Who did?
Graham Hood, Hoodie.
Oh, okay.
Well, see, they're all starting to realise too. You look, Gail.
Hey,
where did you?
I'm trying to plug in my phone, aren't I?
Oh, there you are. You look like you might have been in the bathroom for a minute.
Here I am. I was on the floor.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So where were we?
Communism.
Oh yes. So that really proved to me that because he couldn't answer me, or the dog. Sorry.
Oh
dear.
So
Irene, go away.
Jax thought you were in Bali.
This is a comedy show.
Yes, Denise says you're cute. Someone did say that we could do a comedy stint, or you could.
That was hilarious.
I think we need to do a Bring Back Femininity show.
Yeah, true. Look, I think that I did a lecture at a high school when I was working for the self-improvement school. It was called Susan Johnston. Anyone my age would remember. It was one of the biggest schools for deportment and grooming in Australia. And, we used to produce the Miss Australias and the Miss Worlds, and, you're not allowed to do that. But my last talk I did, which was in 1980 at a high school, I was there to teach the year 11s how to present yourself for a job interview and what to wear and what sort of makeup you wear. And I did a demonstration, and the teacher up the back said, "Excuse me, I think you're all wrong. Doesn't matter what you look like. You just got to be yourself. You can wear an old skirt if you want to, and then they'll employ you by your personality." And I agree, they judge you by your personality. But that was the first time, and that was 1980, that I experienced like a woke teacher, and I didn't know what woke meant.
You do get judged by your personality, but your presentation is your first impact.
That's the first impression, and that's what I was there to talk to them about. It's when you enter a room, how you look, how you stand, how you sit, and then your personality comes out through your voice. Yes. But she was the opposite. She was totally, it's what comes out of your mouth that's more important than the way you look.
Well, it is more important, but it's not looked at like that.
No, but maybe it's these days it doesn't come into consideration. And I'd love to speak to someone who employs people, or like someone from Seek, what they look for when they go for jobs. What's the priority? Is it your resume? Is it your resume and then your appearance? Is it your resume and they don't care about your appearance? That's just your knowledge. Be really interesting. But even just going into the city these days is a totally different look to what it was.
I know. It was so elegant, wasn't
it? Yeah. Lots of just heads in phones, runners. I know when I was in the city, if I had to go for a walk in the city, I'd take runners with me, but I'd have high heels at work.
Yes.
And you don't see the smart suits like you used to, and well-dressed, well-groomed. It's very,
and I actually think if we presented more that way again, we would feel a lot better about ourselves. And I don't think we'd be, this is really going to extremes, but I don't think we would be in the situation we're in, because I think the men would have stood up for their women and their children and gone, no. Because that's what the men did back then.
Yes.
We've all been just slammed so hard, and they're so weak, and not all of men. This sounds,
No,
I'm not men, but
no.
yeah, I think if we still, and I was really progressive, as in not what's happened with COVID, but with everything else. But now I'm like, was I really? We've lost all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, I don't think we would be in that position if we hadn't have lost that. I don't
Yeah.
think we would. Men
Yeah,
are so traumatized. Yes, they are.
who said that?
Denise.
Denise. Do I know Denise?
I don't know. I agree. And shut down. Yes, I agree. I think, and if we're in our femininity, if we're in that, we are their backbone, and we start supporting them again, and then
Yeah.
they get strong again because
Mm-hmm.
they've got that woman behind them, like it used to be.
Yep.
Oh, we need to do a show on this.
Behind every good man is a good woman, hey?
Is a great woman.
Yeah. Look, I don't know how we can do it, but I would love to bring it back. I was talking to a girlfriend recently who is into cosmetics and has been for years, and she wants to do something too as well, because she's aware of how you protect your face too. Not that you be made up with full Botox. Oh, that's what upsets me. All the young kids having false eyelashes put on and false nails and Botox, and they're only in their teens and getting their hair blonded.
And it's all here. The softness is within us.
Yeah.
I'm not talking that we have to be all glamoured up every day.
No.
Yeah, it's nice to do that, and it's nice to be natural as well. But it's here.
You wouldn't know seeing me at the supermarket this morning. You'd walk straight past me. No makeup, no lipstick, tracky jacks on, because I wanted to get going early because I know it was going to be hot.
Yes. Yeah.
But, once I had to go out and had my manicure and had to take the dog for a walk in the heat, unfortunately, I put a little bit of makeup on, I'd blow away my hair, I'd had my manicure. I felt good.
Yes.
I felt good.
Jay, you do know Gail.
Who's that?
Everybody knows Gail. Jay's saying Gail looks familiar. Yes,
Jay.
and Jax, yes, gender is being misrepresented in schools. I agree. Yeah. We're going to have to go now because we have got 3 minutes left. All the tattoos, I do not like tattoos. And yeah, see, we're getting all the conversations now. I think a lot of people think gone too far.
We have. And I think the masculinity has also gone because there's so much focus on feminine fashion for men.
Yes.
Look, I love a guy who looks good, but a lot of it's just a bit wishy-washy. The pants with no socks at a wedding and things like that. I still like a nice pair of silks.
I have to say I don't mind that, but
I know, but there's a time and a place,
Yeah. I just think
maybe
we have to do a show on it because I think lots of people would like to talk about it. Would people like to talk about it before we get off? And because I'm going to be running late and I don't want to do that.
And I think you've got to feel good about how you look in your body as well. And I think a lot of women have neglected themselves, and I've never seen so many overweight people, and it can be controlled. But I think COVID lockdowns was the wreck. I really do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard to break back as you get older.
Yeah. Yes, I know. Gosh. All right, Gail, I'm going to have to close the show. So thank you everyone for joining us. Gail, thank you for joining us. You'll have to come back. We do need to do this show. We really do.
Yeah, well, I've got another couple of girls that would join us as well, so we could do like a group thing next year.
Sounds
maybe.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, my friend. I will see you soon. I hope.
Privileged being on your show. I hope I was okay.
You were beautiful.
Bye.
Bye, Gail. Bye. Yeah. All right, guys, thank you for joining us. I'll have to get off really quick. So have a great week, and next week's Christmas, I'm not sure if I'm going to jump on with someone for a little Christmas special. I'll see. But if not, Merry Christmas, everybody. I love you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Something was wrong, we felt it inside. Something told us do not comply. Turn off the news, turn off the TV. It's time to think, get off your knees. We tried to warn loved ones, oh did we try? We tried to save lives, but we were denied. Sadly we failed and many of them died. We were kicked to the side, we did not hide. We took to the streets, we would not comply. Our conscience told us this was the world's largest lie. At first we were few, but we shortly grew. Melbourne streets saw sights that had never been seen. We fought for our rights, for all to be free. People thrown to the ground, pepper spray to the face. No matter what age, we were locked up and caged. Then the guns came out, they had no care. They shot their own people, running in fear, unarmed and peaceful. We stood for our rights, they would not stop us. We would not give up the fight. We were locked out of cafes, our families withdrew. No Christmas, no birthdays, no celebrations we knew. We were germs, enemies, a danger to you. You watched the counts on mainstream news. No further would you look, we were all cooked. Deluded, brainwashed, segregation we lived through, whilst you lived your life without any clue. People thrown to the ground, pepper spray to the face. No matter what age, we were locked up and caged. Then the guns came out, they had no care. They shot their own people, running in fear, unarmed and peaceful. We stood for our rights, they would not stop us. We would not give up the fight. Something was wrong, we felt it inside. Something told us do not comply.